Well, good morning everybody and welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Lindy Smith and today I'm going to be answering the question about pastillage. This is the type of thing you can make with pastillage. It's really useful type of paste to use on cakes, and I'm going to be explaining it to you and giving you some examples and giving you a little demonstration of what I do with pastillage. Now, I've got lots of examples in my books where I've used pastillage. Sometimes people call it pastillage, but it's up to you what you call it. I'm going to give you a little demonstration, as I've said, and I'm going to show you some examples, and I've got some cakes over here as well where I've used some pastillage pieces. Now, these are obviously sugar sticks, which you can pop in the top of your cakes. I've got some stars here, and I've also got some musical notes. If I hold them the right way around, it'll look, there we are, it'll look correct. Okay, well, if you've got any questions, please say hello, tell me where you're coming from, and I will try and answer those questions as best I can. So I'll just put these down and talk to you about the recipe. I will pop a link to the recipe up later, but basically you're going to need a raw icing, which is made of 1 egg white and 300 grams of icing sugar. You then add in 2 teaspoons of gum tragacanth. Now, gum tragacanth is a natural gum, and it means that the paste dries really, really hard. And unlike a normal raw icing, which you pipe with, this means you make a paste that you roll out, just like we would a sugar paste or a modelling paste. We've got a few hellos. We've got Gladys from Ecuador, and Kirsten says hello. Hello to both of you. It's lovely to have you with me. I'm talking about pastillage today, and I'm going to be showing you some examples that I've been making. I had a quick little go yesterday, made some little mini cakes just to show you how these items can be made. Right, now, as I say, I've given you the recipe and I'll put a link up later. Kirsten said she's from New Zealand, and we've got Jana from Newport, South Wales. Thank you for telling me where you're from. I love to know where in the world everyone's from. It makes it much more personal. I like to know where I'm reaching and where these broadcasts go. It's quite amazing that the internet is allowing us to do this. Oh, we've got a thumbs up. Thank you ever so much. I do love the thumbs up and the hearts that you send me. It's very encouraging. It means I do more and more of these. Now, there are lots of uses for pastillage, as I've said. The pastillage that I tend to use is for doing things like this, as I've already shown you. Now, these can be put into the top of your cake, so you've got a sort of 3D element going round the cake, or you can put them inside sugar models that you want people to eat. So, for example, I could pop that into a little figure I was making, and rather than put something inedible to hold the head on, I could put a sugar stick. And these are made using the sugar shaper, which I demonstrated on here last week, which is one of these tools if you missed it. If you want to know how that works, then have a look at last week's broadcast and you'll find out. But I'm going to do some rolling out today and texturing, and I'm going to make not the star because I've also used that before, but I'm going to be making these. And because the camera works by flipping the picture, I'm actually going to be adding texture. If I bring that in, there we are, I can see. I'm going to add some texture, but I know that note is the wrong way around. With musical notes, you must be careful that you have it the right way around. It's either that way or that way. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera now and show you some examples. Kirsten said she made some spaceman lollies made from it. Fantastic. And Anisha says hello from Workshop. Lovely to have you with us. Right, I'm going to flip the camera and show you some examples from my books and the ones I made yesterday. So bear with me while I do this. So here are the notes that I was making yesterday. I've got some tips to share with you in a little while. And I'm just going to move over here. And I've got one of my books with some examples. So here we have a little cupcake with some pastillage hearts. Now, the reason I use pastillage on my cakes is that it stands up to moisture a lot better than if I was using modelling paste or sugar paste. It means that if it's a little bit humid, then the heart won't wilt, it'll stay in position. So that's the first one. Oh, just bear with me, we might judder a little. Another little rose cupcake, and the swirls that you see in the background are made with pastillage. They're made with the sugar extruded out of a sugar craft gun, like I showed last week, and then curled round a dowel and then left to dry. So that's that one. And another example is the butterfly on these cupcakes. Now what you can find with swirls of buttercream on a cupcake is that once you put the sugar on top, it can make the sugar go soft. Whereas if you use pastillage, like I have on this butterfly, then you don't have a problem with that at all. Okay, I think I've got one more example to show you from this particular book. This is my Cupcake Celebration book, which I know some of you will have. And these are some snowflakes. Oh, we've got 2 people crying on there. I know, the snow didn't last, which is a bit unfortunate, but I know some of you around the world will have lots of snow and others will be in brilliant sunshine and 40 degrees. That's the way of the world, isn't it? Now what I'm going to do is just introduce you to a couple of cakes I made yesterday. Now these were just literally thrown together. I don't know if they're finished yet. I haven't decided. They're quite basic. I've just literally made some pastillage notes, as you see, and then popped them onto a little mini cake. So that's one. And then I've got a white and blue one behind. I love using mini cakes. Mini cakes are fantastic for just experimenting with ideas. Now, if any of you have got my colour book, I've used some musical notes on one of the very vibrant ones. I actually put to post up yesterday with the cake. So if you look on my Facebook page later, then you'll see that example. So what I'm going to do now is introduce you to what you'll need to make these textured notes. You'll obviously need some note cutters, and I've got the set that I use down here. This is one of my sets. They're made from stainless steel, so they're dishwasher friendly and they'll last a lifetime. They're nice and robust cutters, so you can keep using them again and again, and they're nice sizes, I think, because they, as you saw on the mini cakes, they stand up and don't get lost. And you'll need some stencils. I've got a couple of examples here. That's my trying to think what is the peony one, and this is the cherry blossom one. The one I'm going to be using actually is this one, here we go, which is from my hedgerow set, which is rather a lovely one. So I'm going to pop my tablet up on my stand here. Sorry, words are failing me today. It's not good, is it? I've already rolled out some pastillage under some plastic here. I've rolled it out, as you can see, between 1mm spacers, which with these orange things. It means that my paste is all the same thickness. It's neither too thick or too thin. It's the ideal thickness. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is place the stencil on top. Now obviously you can make your paste completely plain. You don't have to have texture onto your musical notes, but I just thought, why not? Because I can. Now you can see that I've got my name written on this smoother. It's because I do a lot of teaching. So I'm just pressing down nice and firmly, make sure that it gives a nice imprint. There we are. I think we're about there. There we go. And when I lift, I'm pressing hard so that you could, hopefully you'll be able to really see the pattern. There we are. Stencils are wonderful for embossing paste. You can use them on all sorts of different paste. It adds just a little bit of an extra dimension, I think. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is place this cutter, and I'm going to position it in a place that I think I get a nice pattern. Now we've got 2 little daisies here, and I like to have the daisy head in the bottom of the cutter and in the top. Now I'm using the middle one, so that is the smaller cutter and this is the larger one. Now, in my colour book, what I did is I used the larger one, which is that one, and I used the middle one, and I actually cut out 2 black notes in that case, and I stuck one on top of the other like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, then you'd obviously remove that, and what I find sometimes with the pastillage is it dries very, very quickly. So what I would normally do is very quickly move that over to a foam pad, which I have behind. But what I'm going to do is flip the camera, because I'm going to show you a trick for tidying them up. So if I just move this over here, so that's the foam pad. I would pop it into a foam pad. After an hour or so, what I would do was to, once it's hardened up, and it hardens up really quickly, is to flip it so that it dries completely. Now these were all made yesterday, so they have dried really nicely. And as I say, I'm going to flip the camera and show you a little trick. There we are. If you have any more questions, please do let me know, and do say hello. I love to know that you're on here with me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring this up nice and close. Now, hopefully, I'm just looking at the screen to make sure you can see. Can you see there's a very uneven edge here? You often get that with pastillage. It doesn't cut as cleanly as it might do with other cutters, and I don't want to wobble it. So what I found is if you wobble it, it distorts the shape a little bit because the paste is much softer. And I've got a question here. Moira says, what is the difference between pastillage and gum paste? They're made of completely different things. Pastillage is made, it's like basically a royal icing with gum added so that you can roll it out. So it's sugar, egg white and gum tragacanth. And I will put the recipe up for you later. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in. Now the way to clean this is to get your, let me just move this out of the way, hold on. There we are, and get this nice and close. I'm just, whoops, can you see that? Get your craft knife and then just go around it. Traditionally people use sandpaper to make everything nice and smooth, but you don't need to use sandpaper, you can just use a craft knife. And because it's very dry and very brittle, that allows, just using a craft knife, you get it beautifully smooth. Now I want to demonstrate how brittle it is, so I'm going to bring some of these in. Always make extra, because look what happened, I dropped this one and then that top broke off, because if I snap it, you'll see, whoops, it dries really, really hard. Now this is only made yesterday evening. You can see that it's wonderful stuff, but it does have a downside. The downside is it dries very quickly and it is brittle. So let me just snap that one, you see? It just snaps. So the beauty of it is that it doesn't wilt, so that's when I use it. Kirsten says, don't you put vinegar in yours? Not my recipe. I know there are various recipes. I have a book with about 3 different recipes in that I had years and years ago, but this is it's very quick and easy this way. There are other ways of making it. Okay, I'm not quite, is it Katja? She says hello from Germany, saying she loves my videos. That's very kind of you to say so. I do my best. I know they're very homemade, and sometimes I get lost for words like today, but hey ho. What I find is the beauty of this is it dries hard, and once it's hard, there's not much that makes it go soft. You have to have incredibly high humidity for that star, for example, to wilt or to bend. It is brittle, and that is the beauty of this particular paste. If I was using a gum paste or a modelling paste, then it only takes a little bit of humidity for that to wilt. This stands up to extremes of humidity. And Kirsten said she would like to try my way of making it. It's very simple. All you do is pop an egg white in a bowl, add the icing sugar, usually about 300 grams, and then you add in 2 teaspoons of gum tragacanth, and then you knead it, and then you roll it out. And it'll last, store it in the fridge, because obviously you've got the egg white in, and then you can use it. I use store it for about a week or so. I think that I like to make it fresh. If it's going to be eaten, I'd like to make a fresh batch. Obviously, it's a demonstration piece, and you can use older stuff. Anisha says, homemade videos are the best. I'm constantly smiling through your videos. Thank you so much. It's nice to know. I love making them. As I say, they don't always work out as I want them to, but hey ho, that's life, isn't it? Now, this is some pastillage that's been stored in my fridge overnight. Can you see it's quite dry? I'm just going to show you. It's quite dry, and so that's what it will look like. I then need to knead it to get it nice and warm, and I will do that now just to show you what it's like when you take it out of the fridge. You've obviously got to make it warm, and when you're using it in a sugar shaper, which I introduced to you earlier, it's one of these, you put white fat and water in it exactly the same way you would modelling paste. Because it's got the gum in there, it works a treat. So here we are. So now, if I bring that in, you can see it looks like any other standard modelling paste. Yeah, but it's not, because it dries very, very quickly. So you have to work quickly with it. So if you're cutting out shapes, you've got to cut them out and move them onto a foam pad very, very quickly. Okay, so if you've got any more questions, then, and you're watching this at a later stage, just please ask. I will pop on later and answer them as well as I can. As I say, I use pastillage for all sorts of things, particularly these. I love these, and I add them in all sorts of different cakes, and often at the background of things I also use them as internal support, some things that are going to be eaten. Kirsten says knead it until it's soft like fondant. That's it, Kirsten, you've got it completely. It is. You knead it and it behaves just like fondant, but it dries a lot quicker. So when you roll it out like I had earlier, cover it to stop it drying out, and as soon as you've cut your shapes, just cut a few at a time, move them onto a foam pad and let them dry. Someone says, and Rani asks if you can use powdered egg instead. Of course you can. Yes, just use the normal reconstitution for that. By all means, that is no problem at all. I've never tried it with egg substitute, but who knows, it might work with that as well. We've got a hello from the Philippines, Maria. Fantastic, it's lovely to have you with us. I'm about to sign off now because this is only a quick demonstration today. Next week I'm actually teaching next Friday, so I won't be on here. But do let me know what you'd like me to demonstrate in the future, and I will do my best to accommodate you. Thank you very much for being with me, and goodbye until next time.